Hi there, soul friend. My name is David McLeod. I am your life mastery coach and the lead author of the #1 international best-selling book, Gifts of Wisdom: Practices for Healing and Empowerment. I'm also one of the co-authors of the best-selling series, The Wellness Universe Guide to Complete Self-Care. Welcome to Life Mastery Soul Memos, my monthly series designed to help you expand and magnify your life, one simple idea at a time. This is episode 68, and today my topic title is A Path to Peace of Mind. Have you noticed that people often treat peace of mind as if it were a rare, exotic commodity we need to discover at some distant mountaintop retreat or excavate from the bottom of a perfectly still lake? A lot of us build our lives around the frantic pursuit of external solutions, thinking that if we just optimize our schedule, land that final promotion, or reorganize our home office, the inner chaos will finally cease. Sadly, even if or when we reach those goals, the noise often seems to follow right behind. Inner peace is not something we create, but something we return to. It lies hidden beneath the heavy, tangled layers of perceptions, interpretations, and unquestioned beliefs. When we stop adding more layers and start peeling away the ones we've already accumulated, we discover that the peace we so desperately seek has been there the entire time, waiting patiently beneath the noise. It's easy to get lost in the day-to-day grind, isn't it? All the while thinking that our internal state is a direct byproduct of our external circumstances. I remember a situation years ago. I was convinced that my stress was entirely due to the pressure of a looming business deadline. I was spiraling, convinced that if the outcome went sideways, my peace would be shattered forever. It wasn't until a mentor challenged me to look at my interpretation of that deadline that I realized the stress wasn't coming from the calendar. It was coming from the story I had been telling myself about what that deadline meant in terms of my worth. If you want to pierce these veils in your own life, you might try these 6 quick steps. First, when you notice the activation of a trigger, ask yourself, what am I assuming is true about this situation? Second, name the emotion you are feeling without judging it as bad. Third, observe the physical sensations and tensions in your body, treating them like components of a weather pattern rather than a permanent state. Fourth, notice how often your thoughts jump to the future or the past, and what in particular you tend to think about. Fifth, consider whether this reaction is based on a past memory rather than something in the present moment. And sixth, breathe into the silent spaces between your thoughts and let your attention reside there for a while. The more you practice this simple technique, the more you move from being a reactive participant to an observant commander of your own state. When we talk about shifting deep-seated perceptions, we're really talking about neuroplasticity and the regulation of the autonomic nervous system. When we are caught in the grip of habitual stress-inducing interpretations, the amygdala keeps our body in a state of high alert, triggering the sympathetic nervous system, our fight or flight response. Science has shown that intentional thought observation practices shift brain activity away from the amygdala towards the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for calm, objective reasoning. By creating a gap between a stimulus and the interpretation, we lower cortisol levels and increase heart rate variability, which is a key biological marker for resilience and inner calm. It's not about thinking happy thoughts. It's more about physically retraining the nervous system to return to a baseline of stillness, even if the world outside remains turbulent. Now, let me share you with Let me now share with you 3 techniques you can use to help you uncover your hidden filters and find your way back to that peaceful baseline. 1. The observation audit. During your next high-stress moment, pause and visualize yourself as an objective witness, kind of like a fly on the wall, watching the situation unfold. Write down the facts of what is happening, stripping away all adjectives and emotional judgments. By separating the raw data of reality from the movie you are playing in your head, you weaken the grip of your unconscious filters. When you master this separation, you stop being a victim of your circumstances and start becoming the architect of your experience. 2, the belief reverse. Identify a persistent, nagging thought that is robbing you of peace. Acknowledge its presence in your awareness and flip it on its head. For example, I must have everything perfect for this to be a success. Acknowledge it. This is an unconscious belief, and I take responsibility for its existence in my mind. Then flip it around. My success does not depend on perfection, and I am at peace even when things are imperfect. Here's another example. People are always undermining my authority. Acknowledge it. This is an unconscious belief, and I take responsibility for its existence in my mind. Then flip it around. I am a sovereign being, and I maintain poise and precision in all aspects of my authority. Notice the physical reaction in your chest or stomach when you do this recognize, acknowledge, flip sequence. Often the body will signal that the reverse truth is much more aligned with your authentic core than the original stressful falsehood. By systematically challenging your internal narratives, you disarm the belief systems that create the illusion of turbulence. 3, anchoring the present. Peace is notoriously absent when we are worrying about the future or regretting the choices of the past. When you catch yourself doing either of those things, bring yourself back to the present by choosing a simple physical anchor. For example, the sensation of your feet on the floor, the feeling of your breath entering your nostrils, or the sound of the ambient environment around you. Whenever you feel your mind drifting into the fog of interpretation and storytelling, bring your full attention to this anchor. By grounding your consciousness in the present, you starve those draining stories of the energy they need to persist. By practicing these 3 techniques, even if only occasionally, you reclaim sovereignty over your own inner world. When you stop being a slave to every erratic impulse and unconscious interpretation, you begin to experience a steady, quiet strength. This is not the passivity of someone who does not care. It's the focused intensity of a person who values inner peace as a prized asset. You will find that you can lead better, coach better, and mentor others more effectively because you are no longer projecting your own inner noise onto them. Instead, you offer them a steady harbor. By lifting the veils of illusion, you aren't just finding peace, you are reconnecting with the core of your own presence, turning the tide on years of distraction and returning to the solid, unshakable ground of who you are meant to be. It's time to stop looking for peace as if it were a missing piece of the puzzle and start living from the realization that you are the frame, the picture, and the silence that holds it all together. If you like being inspired by people who learn from their experiences and embrace the wisdom that emerges naturally out of those situations, then you'll love my book, Gifts of Wisdom, Practices for Healing and Empowerment. Please head over to Amazon right now and grab a copy for yourself. And maybe grab one for a friend as well. Remember, dear friend, peace of mind only seems difficult to achieve because it lies beneath layers of perception, interpretation, and belief. By lifting these veils of illusion and confusion, you automatically reconnect to the peace that is already there. Let me know your thoughts and ideas about this. And if you need some one-on-one support, please reach out to me directly. I'll see you next time on Life Mastery Soul Memos.